Hello and welcome to the iRacing Le Mans Series live on Apex Racing TV. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick. Alongside me is Ryan Walker with Sam Kumo broadcasting this event. And we are here in Belgium at Spa. A legendary circuit running in all kinds of vehicles, whether it be endurance racing or single-seaters. It's quite a circuit, often regarded as probably in the top 5 best circuits in the world. And it's got its, yeah, like I say, it's got its history in endurance racing, and it's perfect for these cars today.
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, it's one of those iconic tracks that seems to produce great racing. It also produces great racing in real life in the WEC and also the European Le Mans Series. Which was actually funny enough that I mentioned it was actually racing here at the weekend, and unfortunately the race got called off with 1 hour remaining, I think. But yeah, Spa-Francorchamps, just like an iconic track, and I think we should be in for a fantastic evening of racing.
Yeah, absolutely. A very good turnout today as well. Some very high quality drivers. That should be very interesting to see where they mix into compared to maybe the more familiar season championship contenders. In the championship, in the LMP1 class, Julian Groenen leading the way with Ricardo Schiavon in second and Ismail Yakubu in third position in that championship. And in the HPDs, it's Neil Andrews leading the way with Julian Bout in second, down Seal moving his way up through the field, and he's actually here today. I think this is the first time we've seen him on Apex Racing TV doing one of these races. And in the GTE class, Barry Morrison currently leading the way by quite a hefty margin, about 80 points ahead of Tim Grieve, and that one's still very much alive with Dennis Grabowski in third position. But a long circuit here, Ryan, we're not going to see too many lapping cars, to be honest. So I think, if anything, more than usual, it's going to be about how good these guys' pace is and how good their racecraft is. Overtaking that here, very possible. And yeah, so racecraft is going to be absolutely crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. Racecraft is going to be crucial, especially around here. Yeah, I think with Spa being a longer track, it gives the GT drivers a lot more time to settle down and not have to worry about being lapped by traffic. Yeah, I think especially the P1 drivers, with them, it's going to be, when it comes to lapping traffic, they're going to have patience and also be careful and not do anything silly. So, but also on the other hand, it will require GT drivers to be sensible and not do anything stupid when being lapped. So, yeah, hopefully these guys work together and cooperate as well and be sensible and give each other space and also give each other respect.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we've also got to remember the incidents around here. And I don't need to tell everyone listening the incident system around here. I'm sure it's very well known. To give credit, we've got 46 cars up there. Every driver has put in a valid lap. That's impressive. Yeah, it's extremely impressive performance from everyone out there. And yeah, we do now have the grid for you, I believe. And it's Marcus Hamilton on pole position for the LMP1s. He's about half a second clear of Tommaso Carla in second, and it's Fabrice Cornelis and Patrick Wolf with Jack Cedric rounding out the top 5. I'm going to try something different. I'm not going to mispronounce all the names. I'll just do the top 5 in each class. And in the LMP2s, Carla Bartzi gets in pole position there. Johan Hart in second. Pascal Stix starts in third. Neil Andrews fourth. And Dan Seal fifth. That's another really good lineup in the LMP2 field with actually Julian Bout as well in sixth place. And in the GTEs, it's Alexander Voss. Great to see him around for this race on pole position alongside Antti Terho. Keiko Shube starts in third. He's not a bad driver either, with Gianni Shakatis in fourth. He's been very impressive on these Wednesday nights, with Nestoras Kiasoglu in fifth position. And the drivers just lining up right now. I believe it is the Grand Prix pit, so they'll get the green flag after the chicane, and should make it a little bit easier. But through Eau Rouge on the first lap run can get a little bit chaotic, especially for those GTs.
Yeah, absolutely. Oroz is just one of those corners that some people have tried to take too wide in the past, and it's never ended well. So hopefully these guys on the first lap just add sensible and settle down and just get into a rhythm and make it through the first couple of laps and just make sure they don't get caught up in any incidents and just use their brain, be sensible, and just make sure to keep out of trouble.
Yeah, we'll wait to see if those drivers do follow that. We expect that from this driver, but I must say this season, compared to the driving standards from last season, were absolutely impeccable. This season just got a little bit more feisty out there, dare I say. And hopefully we'll see a clean race today. Hopefully a little bit of controversy as well. It's always good entertainment. The drivers should just be pulling away right now, I believe. And yeah, you can see them just rounding Francorchamps currently, with iRacing leading round that GT field. The LMP1s though, coming round the final chicane. Marcus Hamilton from the pole position, and away we go. And you can see that launch from Hamilton straight away. Felt as though he needed to get a nice little gap. He could be vulnerable going down the Kemmel Straight. But that's the perfect start for him. A little bit wide, I think, for Gabriel Roos, just losing position to Tom Mickelmort, but still gaining a position overall on those first few corners. In the LMP2, still Johan Hart actually moving ahead in that class. Neil Andrews in second place, up Carlo Labate with an awful start, and that is a really bad start for Carlo Labate because he's hit the wall and he's got a whole lot of damage. The pole sitter, and he's been falling down the field ever since. And here is the GTs, and actually Antti Terho getting ahead of Alexander Voss. Extremely impressive. We're coming just stick with this for a couple of seconds because this will be interesting to see if Voss can respond straight away. And what's that? I think that was Labate just a little bit slow off the circuit.
Got to run.
Voss is trying to come back against Antti Terho, the lead for the GTs. This could be absolutely crucial, despite it being an hour-long race. Alexander Voss being the need to go into the lead early on here, and yeah, very chaotic start there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It was just it wasn't anything major, but yeah, just a couple of incidents with some cars, and yeah, unfortunately one of the LMP2 drivers got caught up, and just I think he either just had too much a little bit of contact rather, or just too much wheel spin on the exit of turn one, which put him in the wall.
Yeah, that was Carlo Labate, unfortunately retiring from this race seemingly. Hopefully we won't be denied a good P2 battle though. We've got plenty of other very competitive drivers, but it would have been fantastic to see Labate in there as well. But he'll hopefully come back next week for this Wednesday night event. Out in the lead though, it's still Marcus Hamilton leading the way. He hasn't got a comfortable lead, must say, over Tommaso Carla. Carla closing in a little bit. And if you were Carla in this situation, Ryan, considering that you got that battery boost, would you maybe deploy a little bit more, try to go for the move early on just to get track position on Marcus Hamilton? Because he's so quick, he could potentially pull away very quickly.
Yeah, quite. If I was Tommaso, I would possibly try and make a move early and try and maybe see if I could pull away and try and maybe create a bit of a gap. But I know these two guys are teammates, so I don't think they want to do anything too risky at this moment at this stage of the race. So I think they're more than happy just to kind of just sit line astern at the moment and just see how it pans out.
Yeah, it could certainly be the right way. Are they teammates? I didn't know that they were. But yeah, so Carla and Hamilton then. And yeah, so far at least, Carla's been kind of very gentlemanly, hasn't put too much pressure on his teammate. But they are pulling away from the drivers behind. So Johan Hart leading the way in the LMP2s. He's only just ahead of Neil Andrews though. You can see 0.4 of a second. Not a big gap between the two of them at the moment. Pascal Sticks running close in third, getting into a little bit of a three-way battle there. Would have expected Julien Bout to get a little bit more involved, but he didn't have a great qualifying. He started in sixth, so he's up a couple of places. He needs to try to catch on to the back of those two. And in these LMP2s, Ryan, I think, despite the turbulent air, of course, being a factor in these cars, I think the slipstream effect should, you know, keep them pretty close for this whole hour.
Yeah, absolutely. These LMP2 cars, they always seem to be evenly matched and close together. And I think that's why I enjoy watching this class, is because the racing's close and these guys never seem to give each other an inch of space or time to have a rest. It's always they're always on it from every lap. So yeah, it's a great class to watch, and I think it'll be interesting to see how it pans out in LMP2. I mean, if I had to pick a winner, my winner would have to be Johan Harf.
Yeah, Harf, of course, the last season's champion. Well, of course, Neil Andrews super competitive, and Pascal Sticks, we've seen him both in the P1 and the P2 getting very good results. Down Seal looking competitive currently. He didn't have a great start, Seal. He's actually lost 3 positions, I think, compared to his starting place in these LMP2s. But he is trying to come back now against teammate Hayden, also Frederick Sebinelli in there as well. And here we go, Seal with a great slipstream here in the Legends car. He goes to the outside, will he be able to muscle his way around the outside into Lake Coombe? Not quite, but the need to back off, and actually just behind Sabinelli, just yeah, getting a little bit caught up and having to back off.
Yeah, I'm just watching down in the LMP2 class as well, and I noticed that one of my teammates is out tonight in the LMP2 class, Mr. Sassalant from Torquebeat Racing. He seems to be having a decent run at the moment, and yeah, he's right behind these guys. So if these guys in front of Sasha slip up, he could be there. He could be there to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, there's a very nice little scrap amongst these guys, and yeah, I think if Lamp could certainly profit from this, because these cars are so vulnerable to damage. If you get a little bit of damage, especially around this circuit, that's going to cost you so much time. You can see they're so evenly matched currently that just a couple of tenths lost would be absolutely crucial for each of these guys' races. Kei still, actually getting ahead of Antti Terho, and actually in great pace right now is Kei Koshube. So he all tries to go after Alexander Voss. I think they're both core, those two drivers. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, they should be having a good battle against each other. It seems as though Boss for now has broken the slipstream, but that was a good move clearly from Koshube to get ahead of Terho after not a brilliant qualifying for Koshube, qualifying on the second row. But yeah, representing the Ford very well, and he'll be off after his teammate now.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a good move by Kay. He wasn't hanging around. He wanted to try and get by as quickly as possible, and yeah, he's up to second place in GT, and he's slowly closing the gap on Alexander.
Thomas Gibson with an incredible start. I think he's gone up, according to my screen at least, I think he's gone up about 4 places in this field. So really impressive there from the GT driver. Here's Soglu trying to come back at him though. They are a little bit distant from the car ahead, but yeah, let's see if the Porsche power can help him up the Kemmel Straight, because he got such a long period of flat out in these cars, just about flat out I believe in through Eau Rouge in these GTE cars. And feeling the need to go defensive, Gibson not getting into the slipstream too much as Keir Sugly, quite happy just to stay behind seemingly, almost has a bit of a look. But now the Porsche follows the Ferrari.
Yeah, I think he was having a little look there, but I think he just decided with it being a long race, I think he just decided just to stick behind him and just not make any silly moves. But yeah, Gibson seems more than happy to sit behind. Oh, sorry, I mean sit in front. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong standings.
Jack Sedgwick trying to put a bit of pressure on Fabrice Cornelis at the moment. It's Wolf Cornelis, 3rd and 4th. Haven't really talked about them too much, really. But yeah, it's odd to say them, and they're not, you know, leading this race. Instead, Hamilton and Carla doing very well currently out in the lead and got quite a hefty margin currently over the Pure Racing team drivers. But Sedgwick doing very well just behind as well in 5th place. Pretty close though is Michael Mittner. Just shows the quality of this field with Dominic Barber, who I think has won the first 2 rounds. He won at Interlagos in this split, and also Road America as well in this time slot. So he's very quick, and he's down in 7th place at the moment. It just shows the quality of this LMP1 field today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking through the LMP1 field and some of the names that yeah, there's loads of big names in the LMP1 class. You've got Hamilton, you've got Carla, you've got Wolf, Cornelis, Sedgwick, sorry, Mittner, Farber. Who else have you got? You've got Thierry Renson as well, and also Gabriel Rose.
Yeah, Renson has been getting a couple of podiums as well, and he's down in 11th place currently. So really, it does show Tasman, and here comes, yeah, I think that was the move from Michael Mittner down the inside of Jack Sedgwick. That was very nicely done there from Mittner, just applying a little bit of energy, had clearly a little bit more spare at the end of that lap, used it, and he's up into top 5.
Yeah, that was a good move by Mittner. He got a good run on the exit of the final corner, final chicane rather, and yeah, made the move into turn 1 as Sedgwick's coming back at him.
Yeah, down the inside goes Sedgwick, deploying a little bit more energy himself, and yeah, anything you can do, I can do better. But they are losing each other a little bit of time currently as Mittner gets very close to the back of Jack Sedgwick's car. But you just wonder later on in the lap, is Sedgwick going to pay for that little bit of a boost, running out of energy a bit earlier on?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, maybe Mittner's got a run on him again. Yeah, it's interesting to see the strategy with the boost strategies, where these guys are using it. These guys seem to be using it differently on some parts of the track.
Getting close here as well in the lead of the LMP2s, and just a little bit slow coming out of Radion. I'm not even going to quote it, but yeah, you know, I was going to call it something else there, but I didn't. Anyway, Hearth still leading though, and Andrews was not brilliant out of that corner. Pascal Stick's actually getting pretty close there. I think we're just seeing a replay of Andrews. Unfortunately, I can't see it.
Yeah, I was just about to say as well, Harf and Andrews will need to watch Pascal behind them, because Pascal seems to be slightly quicker than these guys at the moment, or seems to be quicker than these guys in the corners. But when it comes to the straights, Harf and Andrews seem to be carrying maybe a little bit lower downforce for more straight line speed.
Yeah, that could certainly be a factor. I know Harth at Silverstone, I think you were along with me, Ryan, last season, how we saw Harth and we were sure he must have damage, because he was thick in the slipstream of the car ahead, and yet he was still losing time. And on that day, because his qualifying wasn't so good, it pretty much cost him the race victory, probably, because he seemed like the fastest driver. But that day, it did not work out for him. Hopefully, it will work out for him today, because his qualifying has improved significantly this season. And starting on the front row certainly helped him today. Here was Michael Mittner having an instant. Again, unfortunately, I can't see that, but I've just seen the car in the pits, and Michael Mittner out of the race, one of the front runners.
Yeah, I'm quite shocked by that. I thought Michael would have been up there in the remaining stages of the race, maybe challenging for the win or a podium. But yeah, I never seen what happened to him. But yeah, unlucky for Michael. But there's always next week or other races in the week to to get some redemption.
Yeah, definitely. I did just see it, and Hugo Preto also, he said, well, what's a, I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say that, but it's a type of chicken, if that helps at all. I'm not even sure if it does. But, yeah, Hugo Preto was not best pleased. I think those two made a bit of contact. The Eau Rouge, or the other corner. Dominic Farber really close to the back of Tien then, and Farber seeing this as a bit of an opportunity through the LMP, through the GT traffic, and there's a bit of contact, big contact actually, and that's Tien into the wall almost, but crucially it was the contact with the GT car which has cost Jarl there, and to the back of the LMP1 field he goes.
Yeah, I'm just about to go and have a look at, that now and see. Oh yeah, it was just a. I think that was a bit. I don't know. I need to see that from another angle, but yeah, it looked like he might have just came across the GT car possibly, or I've not had a chance to have a proper look at it. But from where I watch it, it seems like Tien could have left a bit more room.
I think also Patrick Wolf got involved in that collision, which put Preto and Mittner out of the race because he was not best pleased with Patrick either. So yeah, those three seemingly having a bit of a collision. Alexander Voss still leading the way in this GT class, only just ahead of Kei Koshube. And yeah, Koshube actually doing a really good job to close that gap, because remember he was over a second away, which in these GTE cars, is pretty much outside the slipstream range. So he's had to make that up himself out of just pure pace. And nowadays onto the back of him, I see these two just being locked together to the end of the race line with that slipstream effect. And they are just so evenly matched, possibly using the exact same setup as well. There's rarely a tenth between them, and this will just go down to the last lap, I imagine.
Yeah, I was just about to mention it. I wonder if these guys are using the same setup as you saw. Maybe the only thing they're not using that's the same as maybe using a different boost strategy, where when to use the boost. I mean, Marcus might be using it on the straights, and then in the first sector on the straights, and then in the last sector, Tommaso could be using it in the last sector on the straights. So yeah, it could be different boost strategies for these guys.
Yeah, definitely could be an interesting dynamic in that battle. Let's see if Koshube can get any closer. We'll see what the slipstream effect down this Camel Straight is like. Boss currently with a 3/10 lead. Will it get down below 2/10 by the end of this straight? Not quite, and you can see him closing in quite late on that. Wasn't nearly enough as Koshube a little bit later on the brakes, but of course you get that through Lecumbe and through this part of the circuit. In these GT cars at least, it's almost impossible to overtake. You'll just have to wait till the next lap, or of course you might just save fuel. These guys could certainly be talking to each other, so yeah, it must be quite difficult, but certainly the gloves are off. And will be very interesting. They've currently got a 4-second lead over Antti Terho.
Yeah, I'm just having a look through the LMP2 class as well. Yeah, there's no change at the front between the top three, but yeah, just looking at the positions gained at the moment, I think the biggest mover from what I can see in the lifetime, and for me, is Sasa Lamp, and currently in first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Up in P5 at the moment in the LMP2, so yeah, good run for Sasa at the moment, and hopefully he keeps it up until the end.
Yeah, doing a very good job currently is Sasha Lamp. Unfortunately, doesn't seem as though he's going to be able to fight for the win, but maybe a podium if the top three have a bit of a collision could be possible for him. Yeah, Dan Seal currently, about 5 seconds up the road. Actually, Seal was with a bit of an issue. No, Seal was fine actually. But of course, we have got that battle between Half and Juice, and Styx still raging on. Bout doesn't seem to be able to get at all involved. 6 seconds between those guys, and seemingly just struggling a little bit through the traffic. Thomas Gibson going past Antti Terho. So remember, Terho led this race at one point and just seemingly struggling for pace right now, Ryan. I don't know what could be going on with Antti, but I would have thought he'd you know, at least want a podium out of this event.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, maybe I'm just not sure what's going on, and maybe he's maybe something wrong with the setup, or maybe he's just more than happy to sit behind. He's more than happy to sit behind Thomas Gibson at the moment and try and save some fuel in the drafts. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
Fantastic battle amongst these guys. So close between Gibson, Terho, Kiesoglu, and Glenia, who I don't think we've really mentioned so far, but he's doing superbly well and fighting for this podium position. And hopefully Gibson will be able to stay close. He very nearly had a run at the driver. Hopefully Terho will stay close to Gibson. He very nearly had a run at the podium driver a couple of corners ago, and that was Jan. He's probably not got the most patience out there after making contact earlier on with a GT, and making his way up the pack currently.
Yeah, that was a bit silly from Yao. He could have waited. I mean, Yao was not really in the fight for a podium position or a good result in LMP1. He could have just waited and maybe lost 3 or 4 seconds. But yeah, I guess Yao was a bit fired up after that.
Yeah, certainly, and yeah, he can't afford to leave any time on the floor right now. Very close amongst these two now. Can Kiesoglu have a run at Terho, who's just spent this entire race pretty much with drivers right on his tail? But P3 is still looking very possible. It's difficult to tell who's got the most pace out of these four currently, and actually do that chicane extremely close for the driver of Antti Terho, and Gibson being the need to go a little bit defensive. Got to be always very careful down into this hairpin. And I don't know if you could just go on board with Terho to just see if he can stay close going up Eau Rouge. Little bit of a lift just at the bottom of the hill there, but you can see getting really close, not losing any time whatsoever. And doesn't want to get into the slipstream too much, where he just duck back in once again. No, very happy to stay behind. And yeah, that was an interesting run, because he had absolutely no interest in going for the overtake, it seemed.
Yeah, it just brings me back to the point I made earlier. He might just be happy to sit behind and just try and fuel save a little bit and save some fuel in the slipstream. But he also has to keep an eye on him, because behind him he's got 2 other cars to worry about as well. So yeah, it's a bit of a multitasking job. Focus in front of him, but also keep an eye behind him.
Getting really close for the LMP2 lead as Neil Andrews nearly finds his way down the inside. That was ever so close. So Andrews pulling the trigger, going up the Camel Straight that time into Lake Coombe. Couldn't quite make his way through. He'll stay close through this part of the circuit though. You know, the little bit of aero wash right there for Andrews, and not quite helping him enough. And actually, just as Pascal Sticks is saying, 3.5 tenths behind Andrews at the moment. I don't know if you saw that, Ryan, at all, but just when you're so close in these LMP2 cars, all of a sudden that understeer starts to take an effect, and you know, such a commitment around this circuit. You got to carry as much speed as you possibly can through each of these bends. That turbulent air can really have a negative effect on you.
Yeah, absolutely. I've noticed in these LMP2 cars, or HPD rather, that it seems to be when you're right behind someone, the dirty air comes into effect, and you kind of lose that downforce in a way, so you can't really stay right behind someone. You've kind of got to, well, I think anyway, you've got to back off. So yeah, it's kind of it's either try and stay flat out behind someone, or just back off a little bit and save your tyres, and yeah, just save some fuel possibly as well. There's a GT car in the pits, I believe.
David Barraclough into the pits. We haven't really seen too much of David so far. And yeah, he is the first one to pit, so maybe a little bit of damage on that Torque Freak racing car. I believe it is. I'm going to get that completely wrong, but I think it was. And Johan Hart again under pressure. I think it's at Turho they're getting past, or someone with a very similar livery, at least to Antti. And to the inside goes Neil Andrews. That was a great idea. The little dummy almost sold, but not quite, yeah, not quite auctioned off. Oh, I'm going to go defensive again. It's Hart. This is the third part of the Kumo. And for now, he holds on to that place, but this is going to be a long 35 minutes, it seems, for Johan Hart, if he's going to take home this race victory.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the battle for the win could be between Hart, Andrews, and Sticks. I mean, these guys last season in LMP2. I'm not sure if Sticks was racing in LMP2 last season, but yeah, Andrews and Harf in the LMP2 were just absolutely lightning quick, and yeah, they've proven again that this season they could be the people to beat, as the LMP1 traffic is starting to lap them.
Yeah, this is the difficulty of all three classes between each other.
Oh,
off the circuit, but Neil Andrews is going to lose position here to Pascal Sticks. He can almost use the Porsche as a bit of a
nice move.
And that was very nicely done there from Sticks. He's waited behind for this whole race so far, Ryan, and he saw his opportunity and he took it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was Andrews Andrews ran wide in GT traffic, and yeah, it gave Sticks oh, that was close. It gave Sticks a chance to pounce and pick up a place, and that was a nicely done move. Opportunistic, I can't say it, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Opportunistic, there we go.
That's the one.
I expected myself to not be able to pronounce this. I am terrible at that. Anyway, Pascal Sticks, yeah, holding on against Neil Andrews. Looked as though Andrews was maybe going to be able to respond going into turn one, but not quite this time, though. No GT traffic to maybe get a slipstream off for Pascal Sticks, and he's going to be under big pressure. You can see how far ahead Half is 2.5 seconds between the top two. Andrews goes to the outside, he's just nudging his ways ahead, and there goes Neil Andrews into second position once again. It was a good response. Pascal Sticks once again happy not to fight too hard, and hopefully these two will be able to catch back up to Johan Hart.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a yeah, that was a good move by Neil. He took the chance on the exit of Ringrose and got a good run, and yeah, Pascal on the other hand didn't really fight it that much. He just decided to let Neil go.
Oh, a little bit wide again for Neil Andrews, and look at that, getting stuck behind. Really good driving there from Pascal Sticks, not to run into the back of Neil Andrews, because I think pretty sure Andrews was on the brakes and they were nose to tail, so very good awareness there from Pascal Sticks. Really, yeah, showing that he's a strong head in that car, not making any mistakes. Andrews, though, needs to just clean up his driving a little bit if he's going to fight for the race win. For the overall race, when we haven't really talked too much about the LMP1s recently, it's not got that many battles currently going on, but we do have this battle between Tommaso Carla and Marcus Hamilton. These two fighting very hard amongst each other. But last time we saw, Hamilton was actually ahead, so Carla getting the lead a couple of laps ago, and still nose to tail these two drivers. It's almost like real life with almost a different class of LMP1s out there, absolutely dominating the way, and of course has to be in a Porsche as well. And yeah, super impressive so far from Carla and Hamilton. 9 seconds back to Fabrice Cornelius, and actually maybe going for a move is Hamilton. He's using a little bit more boost down that Camel Straight, and he'll pull fully ahead of his teammate and back into the race lead.
Yeah, these guys are basically pulled away from the others behind them, and just yeah, they're in, as you say, they're in a class of their own at the moment, and just yeah, it seems like they're just having a little battle at the moment just to make it more fun and not boring. So yeah, it's like watching title in the real life WEC.
Yeah, unfortunately, as a tear develops in our eye. Andrews is actually falling back behind Sticks. The Sticks got back passing. You can see Andrew's just getting stuck a little bit behind. So Sticks clearly getting his elbows out. Or it's 3 wide going into P1. That's like not exactly what you want to see. And it's just about dealing with this traffic as well as they possibly can. This is probably the best chance at placing the gap to the race leader. Andrews, who's going to have to slam his way through. Can he go to the inside? Very nicely done there from Neil Andrews. A little bit aggressive, but it had to be done. You cannot afford to lose a couple of tenths as he goes almost off the circuit to make the move on the Ferrari. That's pretty much it for now in terms of the traffic. As you can see, a little bit of a gap. Does seem as though they've lost even more time there. Johan Haas now leading by 4 seconds. Been superb through the traffic in this race so far, Haas, and he currently holds quite a healthy advantage.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Andrews. I mean, I guess he must have got held up by traffic. What's allowed Sticks through, but yeah, Sticks is pulling away at the moment. I'll be interested to see if he can get after Johan Haas.
Yeah, it's. I think the choke's going to be absolutely crucial in this one because it's pretty much a lottery in terms of it's not purely down to speed. Across a race, it probably is down to skill. But yeah, you do occasionally just get a bit unlucky with a block of traffic. Here's Sasha Lamp, currently running in 6th place and still running very well in that 6th place, and trying to chase down Darren Seal just ahead. Also haven't seen the GTs too much. Alexander Voss still leading. He's about a second clear of his teammate Keiko Shube as they just deal with the traffic. These two, of course, very evenly matched, but for now, Voss hanging on against Kate. Thomas Gibson in 3rd place, and still that battle raging off between Gibson to Kia Soglit. Unfortunately, it seems like Glanier has just dropped off, but that means that he's in a battle now with Blasco Valls and Sardinelli. So yeah, battles all the way down this GT pack.
Yeah, it's the GT class is proven once again. It's one of the closest classes to watch, and there's always seems to be a battle happening somewhere, be it at the front, in the middle of the pack, or at the back of the pack. So yeah, there's battles everywhere.
Yeah, sorry, Sardinelli, of course, yeah, in the LMP2, so what does Sardinelli really on? Do you really know? But, yeah, he's just making his way through that pack currently. Marcus Hamilton into the pits, pitting a lap earlier than Tommaso Carla. Interesting difference of strategy. They've just about made it over the halfway mark. These LMP1s never easily above the halfway mark. Their fuel is pretty tight for a one-stopper. Patrick Wolf also into the pit. So a bit of a division here in strategy, seemingly, Ryan. Only Wolf and Hamilton coming into the pits. Usually we see all the LMP1s pit on the same lap, but those drivers may be not quite as efficient on their fuel.
Yeah, it could be that. It could be that people are not as efficient on the fuel as you mentioned, or some people are maybe patting early, maybe see if they can jump people in the pit stops. Maybe Marcus is trying to jump his teammate Tommaso in the stops, and to see if he can get some clear air.
Yeah, certainly a possibility for those drivers who want to establish a bit of track position. What can Fabrice Cornelis do? Can he get the overcut on his teammate? Because it's all about the battles for the teammates. You know, first, second teammates, third and fourth are teammates. Jack Cedric falling a little bit behind. Remember, he was fighting, I think, with Fabrice Cornelis and Patrick Wolf early on, but now quite distant, 7 seconds behind Cornelis. I expect them all to be in on this lap, and Tommaso Carla is into the pit, so it will be very interesting to see where he comes out in relation to Marcus Hamilton.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on to see where Marcus is. Marcus is just excuse me. Marcus is just heading up to up to a Radion, I believe it is, or I think that's the name of the corner. I apologise if I got Blanchamon, sorry.
That's not Razion, actually. There you go, I've quoted it. Sorry, cringe.
My bad.
Oh, let's try to forget about that. Carla is still in the pits, although you can see he's turning the wheel. He's desperate to get away, and he will just cut that turn one. It could be crucial.
Marcus is jumped him.
Coming out of the pits. Where is Tommaso? He is behind him, and yeah, establishing back that lead is Marcus Hamilton.
Yep, I'm just keeping an eye on to see if anyone else is pitted from LMP1. Yep, Cedric's pitted, Tom Mickelmore, Dominic Farber, and Thierry Renson and Francisco Gonzalez have pitted as well.
Yeah, so all the LMP1s, I believe, have now pitted. So an issue, big issue actually for Patrick Wolf. And you can see he's right on the tail of Thierry Renson. So Wolf has had an awful pit stop, seemingly. Yeah, he must have got a speeding penalty. 32 seconds, everyone else was 17, or 18 or 19. So yeah, speeding penalty then for Patrick Wolf, and even the pros do it. That's a little bit of a sigh of relief for everyone else. A mistake easy to make even around here. It's not necessarily the hardest pit entry, but yeah, Wolf with an uncharacteristic mistake there, and it could cost him a podium.
Quite possibly. I'm not sure what happened to Patrick. I mean, it could have been, as you say, it could have been a speeding penalty. Maybe maybe carried too much speed on the pit entry line. Pit entry line. So yeah, it's not like Patrick to make a mistake like that. But yeah, I guess even the pro drivers are prone to mistakes from time to time.
Here we go. Yeah, he was certainly over that. You can see the speed limiter only really held him back right at the end there. Just looking at brakes, I think. So I'm going into the pits.
Johan Harf in the pits.
Ooh, okay, that's interesting. And so yeah, race leader from the LMP2. Not sure what his gap was beforehand, but that must just be because he's led so many laps. The likes of Styx and Andrews have probably got quite a nice slipstream so far behind him, and that's enabled them to do this extra lap, which could be quite important at the end of the race.
Yeah, Harf is just leaving the pits now. Yeah, it was just fuel only, so it'll be interesting to see. I'll be interested to see what kind of pit stop time Styx and Andrews can do.
Yeah, so Harf in some clear air as well. Well, I say clear air. I don't know what his traffic's like, but in terms of LMP2 traffic, he should be fine. 15-second pit stop, so clearly no speeding penalty there for him. Julian Bout still 8 seconds behind Neil Andrews. Really expected him to be in and amongst the likes of Styx, Andrews and Harf, but unfortunately just hasn't quite delivered that today. Usually one of the front runners, I think he's second in the championship, but still going to be good points for him to rack up today. He's not exactly too far off, still very competitive driver today. Still waiting, of course, for the majority of the P2 drivers and also these GT drivers as well to come into the pits. Alexander Voss only just leading the way. Kikushube, the closest I've seen him so far in this race, they should be able to go about, it's a high fuel consumption circuit, so probably another 6 minutes or so. Maybe
Andrews is in the pits.
Oh, here we go. So this is make or break time now, Ryan. This they at least need to be close to the back of Johan Harf when Neil Andrews comes out of the pit. So
yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on to see where Harf is. Harf is just heading up to the final chicane. Just keeping an eye on to see what Andrews does. But I think it'll just be fuel only. Half is just an exit of the final corner now.
Will the race clutch driver inherit this lead back? Neil Andrews is coming to the end of the pit lane currently. But he's going to be behind his Neil Andrews. Johan Hart takes back that position. Andrews still coming out of the pits. He had a 2.5 second pit stop, and was that over the white line there, Ryan?
Oh, it was close to being over the white line. I don't know if you'll get a penalty for that.
Yeah, the physical, the visible white line is quite difficult from the kind of white line that they include. Just go to Monza to find that out. They're not exactly matched up, so Andrew should just about get away with that. Of course, now the only front runner who needs to pit now, Pascal Stix, and we'll see if he can come out near Johan Hart.
In a way, this could work out for Pascal. I mean, he's got no traffic in front of him from what I can see. So, yeah, he's possibly been able to put in some some hot laps to try and build as much of a gap as possible. And yeah, maybe if he can have a good pit entry and not lose too much time, he could possibly come back out in P2 or just behind Johan and Neil.
Yeah, he'll want to come out within about 2 seconds of Johan Hart if possible. And here he goes then. So Pascal Stix, after a few, clean laps like Brian said, at least seemingly he didn't have too much traffic, but in some good times. And yeah, we'll see how close he can get to Johan Hart. Maybe he'll even be ahead of Johan Hart. We'll have to wait and see. Julien Belt into the pits as well, so to Darren Seal. And I think Adam Parr as well coming into the pits. Johan Hart just rounding the final chicane right now. He should take back this LMP2 race lead. Pascal Stix still stationary now, pulls away. It was only it was a slightly faster pit stop than Neil Andrews. You can see Johan Hart still with a comfortable lead, but Stix just coming out of the pit lane behind. This one's still on, I think, Ryan. Pascal Stix only 2.5 seconds behind.
Yeah, it's absolutely. That's where Pascal needed to come out after his pit stop, is just behind Johan and in front of Neil, and yeah, he's comfortably out in front of Neil, and yeah, it's not. I think it could be game on for the win.
Yeah, we certainly hope so. This has been a fantastic battle in the P2s so far, and now those pit stops completed. Now we have to wait now, of course, for the GTEs to pit. So Alexandra Voss leading the way, only 0.3 of a second clear of Kei Kashibe. 7.5 seconds back to Thomas Gibson, who's got a little bit of a gap actually over Mr. Kirsoglu, who got ahead of Antti Terho. Those two having a nice little duel. So Terho was leading earlier on, down into 5th now, with Blasco Bals and Dembiet as well around there.
Yeah, I'm just having a look back through the field, having a look back in the GT class. Your two leaders are still together, Alexander and Kei Kashibe. Yeah, I think this battle for the win between these two guys, the battle for the win anyway, could be going right down to the last minute, the last lap, sorry.
And of course, expect Kashibe to be able to go one lap further on fuel, because he's got such a slipstream so far in this race that he should at least eke out one more lap of fuel. I dare to say even 2, if he's really been efficient about it, because yeah, that slipstream effect will really help him around this circuit. But yeah, these GTs should be pitting any lap now.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on these guys to see if they dive into the pits or not. Yeah, someone said in the chat that Farber is not part of Berlin Simsport, so yeah, apologies about that.
Did we go through this I think we went through this last week actually. I think we corrected it or something, not quite sure. But yeah, Farber not part of Berlin Simsport. He did have an interview with us. He told us who he was joining for. I can't remember, unfortunately. Hopefully he'll have an interview to re-jog my memory later on.
Tejo's in the pits as well in the GT class.
So he will try to be getting the undercut perhaps on Kiyosogi, who he was fighting beforehand.
And yeah, he's just left his pit box now, so yeah, it was only, from the looks of it, it was like it was just a short fuel stop.
In the LMP1s, it's still raging on that lead battle. I think the reason why we haven't been paying too much attention to it because it's pretty inevitable that it's going to go down to the final few laps. So until then, it's very much just sparring, I'd say. Oh, that's a good pun. That wasn't even deliberate.
I like that.
I might even put that on the Facebook page. That's impressive, actually. Natural wits. But yeah, they are currently just sparring with one another. And yeah, until it comes down to the final few laps, it's not going to really matter, I think, amongst these two.
Yeah, that was a nice pun. I like that. Maybe I need to. I guess you've been taking lessons from Arden Bath's school of puns.
Oh, and of course Andrew Woodhouse, who is making a good recovery, by the way, after going to hospital a few days ago. Yeah, of course, those two are tough to live up to, but that's up there, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say something with regards to Woody, but I don't think it'll be appropriate to say on the stream.
Alex pretty much explained it all yesterday, to be honest, in front of a lot of people, that he knows actually Woody, so I'm sure you can't embarrass him much more.
Both top two in GTs in the pits, so is Thomas Gibson and Kiyosogi and Jorge Blasquez.
So it'll be interesting to see if Kashube has a slightly quicker stop here, because he should have to take less fuel. I thought he was going to be able to do one lap, but no! Oh, they're proving me wrong. Boss is still ahead then, and actually, Kashube had almost a second longer pit stop, so I don't know how he hasn't saved, you know, a lot of fuel in that first thing, considering they spent 45 minutes on the back bumper of the car ahead and just getting a tow around this entire circuit. But look at that, he's fallen behind a little bit, and God, make that gap up. It's up to 1.5 seconds now, with 14 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised that Kei Kashube never jumped to Alexander, considering he was stuck in his slipstream for quite a while. So maybe, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe Alexander and Kei Kashube are in the same TeamSpeak or Discord server or channel or whatever, and help each other with fuel. But yeah, it's a bit weird. That Kei never jumped to Alexander. But there you go.
Yeah, I doubt he's got another kind of ace up his sleeve, but it will be interesting to see if he can make back up that gap in these closing stages. This battle very much livening up a little bit. Roth, Dembietz and Coroni. Dembietz, he was, did he win last time at Road America? I think he finished third, did Dembietz. Again, showing the quality of this GT field today, being, I think I saw someone say 6K. The strength of field, absolutely superb. So thanks all the drivers for turning up for this one, and of course thanks to all the viewers as well. I think we've got something like 70 people watching currently, which is great numbers. Of course, remember to give this video a like and maybe even subscribe to the channel as well. Deschamps was also right at the front. I think he did actually win at Road America last time. So again, another driver who was super impressive last time. Just struggling to live up to that due to the high competition this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. The standard of driving so far in this race has been pretty good, and throughout every class. And I think at a track such as Spa, I guess it's not. Excuse me, it's not as try to find the word, not as chaotic because of the long nature of the track, and also the straights as well. So it gives people a chance to lap get lapped or lapped. So yeah, it makes it easier.
These two drivers then, Albert and Gonzalez, fighting against each other. From what I can see, same livery. Is that the case, Ryan, on your end for Albert and Gonzalez?
Yeah, I was just about to say, yeah, they're running the same livery, so I'm not sure if they could be in the same team, possibly.
Yeah, so I imagine they are. And currently, once again, I'm going to use it again. They are sparring against each other here at Spa. That is absolute gold, that. And Gonzalez just moving ahead of Albert right there. So we'll be interested to see if his teammate can come back. Currently the battle for 9th and 10th with Gabriel Reese. 15 seconds behind. Is lapping a little bit faster than these guys, but is not going to catch by the end of the race.
Yeah, I'm liking that pun you're using, sparring partner. That's very good.
It's never going to get better than this, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the front in the HBD class. Yeah, Pascal has not been able to close the gap on Johan, so yeah, unless Johan has any issues in traffic when lapping traffic. Sorry, I think that's the only chance that Pascal will get to catch Johan. Otherwise, I think it might be, as it stands at the moment, it could be that this could be a top three in the LMP2 class with Harf, Sticks and Andrews.
Certainly looks that way. Pascal Sticks will be giving it his absolute all at this stage of the race. On that last lap, he did lose 3/10 unfortunately to the race leader Johan Harvey. Had a longer pit stop, surprisingly did Sticks. He pitted 2 laps later than Johan Harvey, but had a 6/10 longer pit stop. And also picked up a lot more slipstream as well, so you'd expect maybe have to be running slightly lower fuel. Maybe that will be an issue for him in the closing stages. We've seen that plenty of times around here at Spa. It's not an easy circuit for us to get to the end of. Not easy to save fuel, especially when you're fighting this hard, because just turning down the engine mode a little bit will cost you a lot of time. Johan Hart comes across the line. Let's compare lap times. He does a 2-minute 4.72, very competitive lap time. 2-minute 4.70. So pretty much matching each other on that lap. He needs a little bit more, does Pascal Sticks, to really put up a fight. It doesn't look like he's got anything more up his sleeve to offer the race leader.
Yeah, I think at the moment, as I say, if I was Pascal, I'd be more than happy to sit where I am and just settle for second. I mean, he's not got a challenge behind him, and from Neil Andrews, who's currently in P3 behind him. So yeah, I think as it stands, it's just this will be the finishing positions at the moment. But with something like 7 or 8 minutes remaining, this yeah, anything could happen.
Thomas Carler then back into the race lead ahead of Marcus Hamilton. There was about a second difference between the two of them. I think you're just seeing a replay of how that was done. Yeah, Carler now leading this race. 4/10 clear of his teammate, and they are still going very much at it. The 3 and the 13 car. Impossible to say who's going to win this one, seemingly, but yeah, half a second between the pair of them. 8 minutes to go. If you had to put your money on someone, then Ryan, who would you put on out of Carler and Hamilton?
I'm not sure. If I was a betting man, I would probably have to go for Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus did very well at the end of last season. Unfortunately, hasn't done too many of these Wednesday night races. I think he was mainly doing the Friday night prime time races, but good to see him on Apex Racing TV. And he's trying to kind of get a nice victory here. Will traffic end up important in this battle, I wonder? Just about make their way past currently. Hamilton about 0.3 of a second behind. Probably just worth checking in on the GTEs. Sorry, Alexander Voss still leading the way in that class, ahead of Kei Kashibe. And the gap between the two of them, 1.6 seconds. So it seems as though, Ryan, as though that slightly longer pit stop for Kashibe, he lost 9/10 of a second in the pit stop. That might just be enough for Voss to take home this race victory.
Yeah, I was still surprised that K took on a little bit more fuel. I mean, he was stuck behind Alexander for a while, and maybe it wasn't enough. Maybe he's took on a little bit, probably a couple of litres extra fuel just to be safe and make it to the finish. So yeah, maybe that's where he lost the time, or it could have been on the pit entry and maybe a little bit too cautious.
Yeah, perhaps. And also a little bit about today. I think Dominic Barber's now in the YouTube chat, which is never a good sign for a driver. But you're getting disqualified, I think, in that race. So, sorry, Dominic. And hopefully you'll be back with us next week. But yeah, that's an element that we haven't really touched on since the start of this race. As the drivers ran a little bit wide onto that AstroTurf, you need to start worrying about that a little bit. I'm sure they are worrying about that, a few of the drivers. It's very difficult to tell as a spectator. We don't have access to the incident point counts. But in these cutting stages, it can get a little bit nervy, especially when prototypes are rushing past you left, right and centre.
Yeah, I was about to say, I get some of these guys are running wide a little bit and taking off tracks. If I was them, I would start worrying a little bit with the incident limit or off-track limit. If they're getting close to it, maybe just back off a little bit and just get to the finish. But you know what it's like. Some people when they're in, some people are in the zone. They like to push as much as possible, and they try and extract some more pace out of themselves.
Oh, that's very close with the 13 car just about getting ahead. That was Marcus Hamilton. He, I think, could see maybe his race victory chances ebbing away there, so he deployed a whole lots of energy, and you can see Thomas Carler pulling out at a bit of a lead. 1.2 seconds between the two of them, and Marcus Hamilton just must have run out of energy down that Kemmel Straight, and he is taking absolutely no prisoners at this point. He's desperately trying to catch back up to his teammate, but it just seems as though Ryan, in a moment of maybe unluck for him in terms of the traffic, he's lost touch and maybe lost this race win.
Yeah, absolutely. Thomas just took the chance when he was in traffic and used that chance to build up a bit of a gap to Marcus, and Marcus is being held up in traffic, and it's given. Oh,
oh wow! That was as close as it can get.
Jesus, that made me clench. Yeah, as I was saying, it's the traffic. Marcus is getting held up by traffic, and it's given Marcus a chance to, not Marcus, Tommaso a chance to pull away and build up a bit of a gap. And I think, as it stands at the moment, Tommaso has got the win in the bag.
Yeah, well, I think Marcus will be quite happy to finish this race after an incident like that. It's bumpy out there, and I'm sure Marcus knows that, but he was just so desperate to not lose any time whatsoever, and that four-wheel drive there perhaps just helped. Well, I say four-wheel drive, probably didn't help him whatsoever, but a nice save. That was all Marcus Hamilton saving that one. Very difficult to do once you get a snap of oversteer in these high downforce cars. But yeah, Hamilton 5 seconds behind. Seems as though that one is over. Is the battle over in the LMP2s? Pascal Sticks closing in a little bit on that last lap. He was 4/10 faster. 2.2 seconds though between the top two. You can see Hart getting a little bit held up here. That's not going to help his momentum whatsoever. And Sticks just needs to keep on believing at this point, Ryan. It's looking unlikely for him, but now got that gap down to 1.7 seconds. Just needs to get really lucky with the traffic, and he might just stand a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. If I was Sticks at the moment and I was sitting second, I would absolutely give it everything and just push as much as possible to try and close the gap on Johan as much as possible. At the moment, Sticks is slowly closing that gap down, but I don't think it'll be enough.
Yeah, just lost about 0.3 of a second behind that GT. To be fair, Hart lost a whole lot more time because he got held up going up Eau Rouge. How's, what's that? Fabrice Cornelis just making that move, going past Pascal Spix there. 2 seconds between the top two. Also, of course, in the GTEs as well, as we move into the final 1.5 minutes of this race. Alexandre Voss still leading the way, 1.8 seconds clear of Kei Kashibe. Those two very much clear after plenty of battles all the way down the GT field so far today. Really, the only one left is Blasco Vals versus Turho. That's pretty much the only battle within a second of one another.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, excuse me, just looking at the GT class, the top two. I don't think Kashibe is going to be able to close the gap on Alexander. So, yeah, as it stands, Alexander's got this win in the bag.
Yep, that pit stop broke the slipstream, and since then it's been pretty simple by Alexandre Voss, just maintaining that gap, and it looks like he's going to take home that race victory. Oh, Blasco Vals very close onto the back of his rival right there. Just looking at how long we've got to go, of course 20 seconds to go, and Tommaso Carla is about halfway around the lap, so this will be the last lap for the LMP1s. Oh, just moving ahead, there's the HPD. And yeah, this will be the last lap then for Blasco Vals and Turho to decide this fight. But probably just a word here for Tommaso Carla, Ryan. It's been a great drive. Him and Marcus Hamilton have been so evenly matched out there. But Tommaso, to give credit to him, he just made hay whilst that traffic was holding up Marcus Hamilton a little bit and built up that gap. Now 5 seconds. Been a very impressive performance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a fantastic drive by Tommaso this race. Yeah, he was stuck behind Marcus for a while, and then he got ahead of Marcus, and when it came to the traffic, he took the chance in traffic to build a bit of a buffer and a bit of a gap, and Marcus got held up, and yeah, he gave Marcus, I'll say it again, Tomas the chance to pull away and build a gap, and yeah, he's done a good job and took the win.
Here comes Tommaso Carla, wins here at Spa-Francorchamps. Fantastic drive in the LMP1, so it's going to be a 1-2. Not even sure what team they drive for, but it is a 1-2 or whatever team they drive for. Tommaso Carla and Marcus Hamilton. Next across the line will be Johan Haaf and Alexandre Voss. They are very close to one another. Voss is going to be across the line first, and actually you can see Haaf right on his tail, and they are both going to take their race victories not easily whatsoever. Alexandre Voss going across the line, 2 seconds clear of Kei Kashibe in the end. Johan Haaf 1.5 seconds clear of Pascal Spix in the end. Fantastic battles in those two classes, and that's all the winners I think for today. Blasco Vals just getting ahead of Turho going into the final few corners, and it's side by side amongst the two of them. That's Blasco Vals will take that position. Turho ends up just behind, very close to amongst those two. Blasco Vals finally getting that move done in the final chicane as the final few runners cross the line right now.
Yeah, just to let you know as well, Tommaso and Marcus, I believe, drive for, I can't remember the name, is it Movano Racing?
Yes, that might be the one. There you go. Well done to Movano Racing then. Movano Dust Master?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So well done to those guys. Just got, I think, a couple of GT cars to cross the line now. And then we will be able to go through the final results. So that car actually maybe getting a disqualification. A few drivers did get them in the end. Faber did. And yeah, a couple of others did. But in the end, good driving standards, I say there, Ryan. I think in the first 2 rounds at Interlagos in America, maybe there are a few more collisions than we expect in this series, but today I think those standards were far higher than we've seen this season.
Yeah, the driving standards today were absolutely, from what I've seen throughout the field, the driving standards were excellent, and yeah, there was some little incidents in the early stages of the race, but nothing dramatic or nothing major. I think it was just racing incidents for me. But yeah, throughout the field, the driving standards were good, and yeah, as always, I enjoyed the commentating tonight, and I enjoyed commentating on the series, and look forward to doing more of the same for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we had that little bit of an instant radio on, didn't we? And the kink just after that through the Camel Straight. Apart from that, it was pretty good, I'd say. I didn't really see too much other than that, but in the end, winning the race is Tommaso Carla in first position with Marcus Hamilton. In second place, a 1-2 for Dustmaster Movano up there. Fabrice Cornish finishes in third, Jack Sedgwick fourth, and Tom Mickelmore, we didn't see too much of him in fifth. Also worth for Patrick Wolf, of course, got that 15-second penalty. Could have maybe not on the podium if it weren't for that, but he will end up in sixth place. In the P2s, Johan Hart wins that battle. It was a fantastic battle between him, Sticks, and Andrew Sticks. Just finishing ahead of Andrews in the end. He just had a slightly longer pit stop, cost him quite a bit and struggled a little bit through the traffic as well. Julian Bouts in fourth with Dan Steele ending up in fifth, and in the GTs as well, Alexander Boss wins out of the core motorsport battle between him and Kei Kashube in second. Then was Thomas Gibson in third, Nestoras Kirsogli in fourth, and Jorge Blasco Valls just about beating Antti Turho to the final to that fifth position. Hopefully we'll get some interviews, but currently no one with us, as I desperately look to see where the next race for this series is. It is at Daytona, which we did cover last season as well, 60 minutes of Daytona. Yeah, a circuit that doesn't exactly have LMP1 cars historically, Ryan, but of course does have experience with the Daytona 24, of course, and slipstream again going to be absolutely crucial. It's another very much straight orientated circuit, very similar to this one.
Yeah, Daytona is one of those. Again, it's one of those other, another of those iconic endurance racing tracks, and yeah, it's always a track that I enjoy racing at, especially in multi-class racing. And I think next week it should be absolutely fantastic to watch, and with the high bankings and the long straights as well, it should be. I think we could be in for, I'm not sure how to describe it, a slipstream fest.
I think that's the way to put it. I think that will be very interesting, especially in the GTEs. We will be back, of course, yeah, next Wednesday for that race, same time, of course. Tomorrow we've got the BSRTC. That'll be Adam and Woody hopefully taking you through that one. And on Saturday we've got the team stream and also the Euro V8s as well in the evening. On Sunday we've got the BSR Porsches, and certainly check that one out. That's been superb racing for the first 2 rounds. And then on Monday will be the return of the World GT after missing a week. And of course, yeah, next Wednesday you'll be back with us. But for now, from me, from Ryan, and from Sam, we'll say goodbye, and we'll see you next time.